Hello and welcome to Quiz Class. My name is Ellis and I'll be your host as today you'll be working out who sang these 1960s songs. Do the best you can and let us know at the end how you did. Question 1. Which band released the 1965 hit I Can't Get No Satisfaction? Was it the Rolling Stones, the Beach Boys or We Five? The answer is the Rolling Stones. Question 2. Which band had the song I Just Wasn't Made for These Times on their 1966 album Pet Sounds? The Rolling Stones, the Beach Boys or the Pet Shop Boys? It is the Beach Boys. Don't be fooled by the word pet. Question 3. Who released the song Bernadette on their 1967 album Reach Out? The Kinks, Four Tops or Elvis Presley? And the answer is Four Tops. 4. You Were On My Mind was a hit on the 1965 album of the same name. Who released this album? We Five, The Who, or Elvis Presley? The answer is We Five. The hit song Stay was released in 1960 by whom? The Cranberries, Maurice Williams and the Zodiacs, or We Five? The hit song Stay. And the answer is Maurice Williams and the Zodiacs. Question 6. Which band released the record hit All Day and All of the Night in 1964? The Beatles, the Rolling Stones, or the Kinks? And the answer is the Kinks. Question 7. Which soul artist released A Change Is Gonna Come in 1964? Benny King, Sam Cooke, or Marvin Gaye? He was born by the river. The answer is Sam Cooke. 8. Thank Lord for the Nighttime was a hit from 1967 by whom? Neil Diamond, Bob Dylan, or Ray Charles? Thank Lord for the Nighttime. The answer is Neil Diamond. Question 9. Who released 25 Miles in 1969? Ray Charles, Edwin Starr, or Martha and the Vandellas? And the answer is Edwin Starr. Question 10. Who released the popular song Wings of a Dove on the album Gone in 1960? Aretha Franklin, Neil Diamond, or Ferlin Husky? And the answer is Ferlin Husky. Question 11. Who was the artist behind Papa's Got a Brand New Bag, released in 1965? Marvin Gaye, Otis Redding, or James Brown? All brilliant artists, but which is the answer? Well, the answer is James Brown. 12. Chain of Fools on the album Lady Soul was a hit song by which female artist? Diana Ross, Brenda Lee, or Aretha Franklin? The song is Chain of Fools on the album Lady Soul, and the artist is Aretha Franklin. 13. Which famous rock band released the hit song Jumpin' Jack Flash? The Beatles, the Rolling Stones, or the Kinks? The answer is the Rolling Stones. 14. Who released the 1960 version of The Twist, the most well-known version of all time? B.B. King, James Brown, or Chubby Checker? The answer is Chubby Checker. 15. Who released the record hit Back in the USSR in 1968? The Beatles, the Rolling Stones, or the Kinks? The answer is the Beatles. 16. From a Jack to a King was a single released in 1957. To give it a second chance, it was re-released in 1962 by the same artist. Who was the artist? Bob Dylan, B.B. King, or Ned Miller? The answer is Ned Miller. 17. Who released Rocky Raccoon in 1968? The Beatles, the Rolling Stones, or Bob Dylan? The answer is the Beatles. 18 now. Which duo released the record hit America in 1968? Jan and Dean, Simon and Garfunkel, or the Everly Brothers? The answer is Simon and Garfunkel. 19. Which American rock band released the hit song Summer in the City in 1966? The Rolling Stones, the Jimi Hendrix Experience, or the Lovin' Spoonful? The answer is the Lovin' Spoonful. Question 20. Which blues singer-songwriter and guitarist released Rock Me Baby in 1964? Robert Johnson, Lightnin' Hopkins, or B.B. King? The answer is B.B. King. Question 21. Who released the song Purple Haze on March 17th, 1967? The Jimi Hendrix Experience, the Beatles, or the Rolling Stones? The answer is the Jimi Hendrix Experience. 22. Which female artist released Put a Little Love in Your Heart in 1969? Jackie DeShannon, Janis Joplin, or Tina Turner? The answer is Jackie DeShannon. Well done if you got that one. Here's 23. White Rabbit, a song on the album Surrealistic Pillow, released in 1967, was recorded by which band? The Who, The Kinks, or Jefferson Airplane? The answer is Jefferson Airplane. 24. Which American vocal group released the single Then He Kissed Me? The Ronettes, The Crystals, or Martha and the Vandellas? The answer is The Crystals. 25. Who was the artist behind Suspicious Minds, released in 1969? Elvis Presley, Bob Dylan, or Farron Young? The answer is Elvis Presley. Of course it is. Here's 26. Who released the record hit Hello Walls in 1961? Booker T and the MGs, BJ Thomas, or Farron Young? And the answer is Farron Young. Here's question 27. Green Onions is the title of a song released in 1962 by whom? Booker T and the MGs, The Crystals, or Farron Young? And the answer is Booker T and the MGs. Question 28. Dazed and Confused was a record hit by which popular 60s group? Metallica, The Cranberries, or Led Zeppelin? The answer is Led Zeppelin. 29. Which artist released the 1969 hit Space Oddity? David Bowie, Ned Miller, or James Brown? The answer is David Bowie. Question 30. Which American singer released Hooked on a Feeling in 1968? BJ Thomas, Gary Puckett, or Ned Miller? The answer is BJ Thomas. 31. Which rock band released Born to be Wild in 1968? Grateful Dead, Steppenwolf, or The Byrds? And the answer to that one is Steppenwolf. Here's question 32. Who released Be My Baby in 1964? The Ronettes, The Cookies, or The Crystals? The answer is The Ronettes. 33. Which band released psychedelic rock love song In Agada de Vida? The Beatles, Iron Butterfly, or The Grateful Dead? The answer is Iron Butterfly. Question 34. Who had the hit song Down on the Corner on their album Willie and the Poor Boys? David Bowie, Steppenwolf, or Creedence Clearwater Revival? And the answer is Steppenwolf. 35. Who released Love Is All Around in 1967? Tina Turner, The Cookies, or The Troggs? The answer is The Troggs. Question 36, 15 questions left. Who released Hazy Shade of Winter in 1968? The Beatles, Creedence Clearwater Revival, or Simon and Garfunkel? It's Simon and Garfunkel. It sounds like it, doesn't it? Hazy Shade of Winter, what a title. 37. Who released What Goes On in 1969? The Velvet Underground, The Grateful Dead, or Stevie Wonder? The answer is The Velvet Underground. Well done if you got that one. Here's question 38. Fortunate Son was a record hit by whom? Creedence Clearwater Revival, The Rolling Stones, or We 5? The answer is Creedence Clearwater Revival. 39. Which rock band released the song Eleanor Rigby on their album Revolver in 1966? The Rolling Stones, the Jimi Hendrix Experience, or the Beatles? And of course, it's the Beatles. Here's question 40. Who released the record hit Like a Rolling Stone in 1965? The Rolling Stones, Bob Dylan, or Bo Diddley? And the answer to that one is Bob Dylan. Question 41. Who released the hit Ooh Baby in 1966? Bo Diddley, the Beach Boys, or the Ronettes? The answer is Bo Diddley. 42. Which female icon released You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman in 1968? Tina Turner, Aretha Franklin, or Jackie DeShannon? And the answer is Aretha Franklin. Question 43. Who released the popular song Wouldn't It Be Nice in 1966? The Beach Boys, Bob Dylan, or the Jimi Hendrix Experience? The answer is the Beach Boys. Question 44. Can't Help Falling in Love on the 1961 album Blue Hawaii was recorded by which famous artist? Bob Dylan, David Bowie, or Elvis Presley? The answer is Elvis Presley. 45. All Along the Watchtower was a hit song by which rock band? The Beatles, the Jimi Hendrix Experience, or the Kinks? The answer is the Jimi Hendrix Experience. 46. Who released Uptight, Everything's Alright in 1966? B.B. King, Aretha Franklin, or Stevie Wonder? And the answer is Stevie Wonder. Question 47 now. Which band released God Only Knows in 1966? The Beatles, Four Tops, or the Beach Boys? The answer is the Beach Boys. Question 48. Who released Sweet Judy Blue Eyes in 1969? Crosby, Stills and Nash, Elvis Presley, or Stevie Wonder? And the answer is Crosby, Stills and Nash. Question 49. Good Vibrations, probably one of the most famous songs of all time, was performed by which band? The Beatles, the Beach Boys, or the Rolling Stones? And the answer is the Beach Boys. And question 50, A Day in the Life was a song by which band? The Beatles, the Beach Boys, or the Rolling Stones? A Day in the Life was a song by which band? And the answer is the Beatles. Bonus question, which band released the single Revolution in 1968? Let us know the answer in the comments and let us know how many points you scored out of 50. Thanks a lot for playing this quiz. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon for notifications on all of our upcoming videos. In the meantime though, there are loads of quizzes that you can get involved in and try out, and I fully recommend you do. My name's Ellis and I've been your host. Thanks a lot for joining us today.